and welcome to my shed! Last time I was filming in my castle, today it's gonna be a shed. Why not, hey? So in my last unboxing video I showed you all the goodies I received from BB Craft, including these gemstones. And today I'm gonna be making something out of these gemstones, just as I promised. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with that. I think we're gonna start with with this one. So I've decided to make this turquoise gemstone into a ring, and for that I will be using some 22 gauge wire. This one is fine silver plated, non-tarnished copper in gold color. So I guess it's gold plated as well as silver plated. Don't really know how it works. And I also have to say that I never used a 22 gauge in this design, so if it doesn't work then I'll just have to scrap it and delete this video. So how much do we need? Well, that's the question, because I don't really know. Okay guys, little disclaimer, I'm not gonna include any dimensions at the moment, just because this ring is gonna end up being huge. But don't worry, I will let you know the right dimensions towards the end of this video, and the process will stay the same, so should be fine. Okay, I decided to start with 3 wires and I straightened them with nylon jaw pliers. These babies. So I've got them as straight as possible, and now we're gonna start braiding, but you need to really hold them tight. I think I'm gonna use my nylon jaw pliers and just hold them with those. I'm gonna braid with just one hand, and then after the initial start it will be much easier. So let's start braiding, just like you would do your hair. And then you can speed up afterwards, but at first it's just gonna be a little bit tricky because obviously you can't hold it with both hands. I do apologize, I just noticed it was out of focus the whole time as I was braiding. I now finished the braid, and next we're gonna bend it in half. I'm not gonna measure it, I'm just gonna do it by eye, about there, and we'll carefully bend it and line them 2 braids together, like this. Of course you can do it this way, or you can follow my little tip towards the end of this video. I'm gonna flatten the braids a little bit with my nylon jaw pliers and bend even more. And I know it got distorted a little bit there, but we'll try to fix it a little bit later, not now. Now we're gonna concentrate on the stone. Now you're gonna just put all these bits together, these end wires, and we're gonna twist it. Put them all together, don't worry about anything, or maybe worry about something, but not about this. Take your flat nose pliers or nylon jaw pliers, whatever you've got, and twist. I'm just gonna hold this with my nylon jaw pliers, and I'm gonna take my other nylon jaw pliers. You can do this with flat nose pliers, even chain nose pliers to be honest. But since I've got nylon jaw pliers, I'm gonna use these because they don't scratch the metal. So, twist them. And we'll twist them again, and this is what you should end up with. And now we need to separate the wires, so we're just gonna take one, gonna put this one here, that one there. I'm gonna do it randomly. To be honest, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. I'm also gonna straighten them again. I'm telling you, these nylon jaw pliers are really, really handy. Flatten this bit in the middle because that's a little bit bulky. Not too much, just to flatten it out a little bit. Now you ended up with the top and the bottom, or however you want to call it. But I've noticed on one side it's a little bit bulkier. The wire is sticking out a little bit more. Don't know if you can see it. Then on the other one, this side seems flatter to me, and I'm gonna use the flatter side to set my stone. Now I need to set the stone, so I'm gonna place it in the middle. Should look like this from the back. I'm holding the stone tightly with both thumbs, and I'm gonna use my fingers to bend this wire, both wires at the same time. I'm gonna move my thumb a little bit towards the middle of the stone and cross the wire. I'm not gonna move my fingers at all. I don't want the stone to move. So now I'm gonna just push the other opposite wires around the stone. As you can see, I'm really trying not to move the stone at all. This is what the setting looks like just after I bend the wires. It will definitely need a little bit of adjusting, moving the wires around carefully. Before I start doing anything with the ends of these wires, I'm gonna take my bent nose pliers and push the wires on the back towards the stone. The wires really need to rub the stone as much as possible to keep it nice and tight. Next, I'm taking my round nose pliers and I'm gonna turn all these wires into little spirals that will hold the stone. You can make your spiral as big as you want, but be sure to leave it long enough so that it can wrap and hold the stone. And also, it's not too big so it doesn't overshadow the stone, because that would be a shame. Then you can just push the spiral against the stone, like so. This is what it looks like when it's all done, when you've got all the spirals done. I probably could have made them a little bit lower, but I decided not to. So just check the back as well and push the wires even more. You can push the spirals apart a little bit if you need to. And once you're happy with the way it looks, we're gonna get to the next stage, because we need to make sure the stone doesn't fall out. Oh, also, if you changed your mind and decided halfway through you don't want this stone, you can just bend the spirals backwards a little bit. And if you're using the same size stone, you can just swap it around for a different one. You need to make sure the stones are not see-through, because otherwise you'll see a spider through them. Going back to my turquoise. Now I'm just gonna push them back and down. And for this next stage, I will be using 26 gauge gold-plated wire. And you could absolutely use 24 gauge. Probably even better, because there is less chance that it would snap. But I'm gonna be using 26 gauge. Okay, I'm gonna hold this end. Just hold it with one hand. Go around. And again. It's a little bit tricky. Now I'm gonna go around again, because I want to make sure it's nice and secure. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess, so we just need to tighten it and push it upwards. So first I'm gonna push it up. I'm gonna hold this spire, pull on each end of the wire and push them together again. You can also use chain nose pliers, just be careful you don't scratch the wire or your stone. Very important not to scratch your stone. I'm gonna cut off the excess wire. I'm also gonna straighten the wire a little bit, and I'm gonna be straightening the wire as I go because it will get bendy. Just going over the wire gently. And if you are wondering how much thin wire you will need for this, well, you'll probably need about 5 inches, which is what, 12 centimeters, maybe not even that. I'm gonna be using these glass metallic seed beads, and let's go fishing. Fishing for beads. And now I just need to wrap it around this spiral. So I'm going gently underneath. I'm gonna make sure the beads are wrapped nicely around the stone and then pull. I've got it almost finished. The beads are all around the stone. I'm gonna push them up, and now I'm gonna hold the stone carefully and then wrap it around this last spiral, or the first one. That's where we started. Really needs to be nice and tight. And I'm gonna go around again. Get your chain nose pliers, try and push these wires together. And as you can see, these bottom beads moved down, so we need to bring them up. So I'm holding these bottom beads with my nail, as you can see, got my wire here, the end of the wire on the top, and I'm gonna go over like so. I made the end of the wire into a little hook that I can just go underneath this other wire without any issues. And bear in mind, if you are going to use even thinner wire than 26 gauge, like 28 gauge, the wire would likely snap if you are going to pull on it so hard, so be careful. This is what it looks like right now, and I'm gonna repeat this step. And one more time. And cut it off. You can now go around and look at the gaps and push the wires together. So I'm also pushing the wire in the opposite direction, so the beads look like they're on the same level, because you can see a little step where the beads like reconnect. So that's what I'm trying to fix. You don't have to do it with your nails. You've got precious nails. You can do it with your pliers. We also need to flatten the spirals a little bit more after we've done all this beading job. And for that I'm gonna be using my bend nose pliers. I'm gonna push on the wire from the bottom and flatten the spiral. Oh, and I just remembered I need to try and fix this. I think I'm gonna leave it just like this. I know it's not perfect, but I don't want to overwork the wire because then it's just gonna look rubbish. Next, we're gonna shape it into a ring, and all I'm gonna do is to use this eyeshadow stick. I'm sure you are all fed up with my eyeshadow stick now, because I use it for everything and anything. I'm gonna carefully wrap it around. See, this is how big it is. It's too big. I wanted it to go nicely just underneath the stone. Why can't I just make normal rings like everybody else?
Yeah, so I'm trying to desperately fix this issue and obviously it's not working.
So the conclusion on this ring, I think it's a fail. Oh, I hate to say that. I really like the look of it. Remember this, and I'm gonna redo it. So today is a new day and I decided to remake that turquoise ring because I was really annoyed with myself last time when I didn't measure it properly and it turned out to be a bit of a mess. So I'm just gonna quickly show you the proper measurements for this ring, and hopefully you will be able to make it yourself that way and you won't have to work it out as you go. Oh, and if you are wondering why this finger is talking to you, well, it's because this face looks much better than my face at the moment. So yeah. Okay, let's start. So just as before, I started with 3 pieces of wire, but this time I made them 20 centimeters each, that's 8 inches each. I made the braided bit 10 centimeters. So when you bend it in half, the 2 braids will be 5 centimeters each. And I left these end wires about 4 centimeters each. And here is that little tip I promised when you are bending the braid in half. Find the middle. In my case, it's this little loop here. That's why I'm holding my thumb there so that I don't lose it. And then get a toothpick and pierce it through. Not entirely, just a bit. Just the tip, because you don't want to make the loops bigger. Yeah, keep it in there. Then get another toothpick and do the same with the one below it, this one, the one right next to it, and then get another one and pierce the one which is next to them on the other side. Okay, now we've got that, we're gonna bend it. And if you want to, you can reshape the other loops. Just pierce them with the toothpick. beautiful. Then get your flat nose pliers or nylon jaw pliers and flatten them. Flatten those braids. Done. Looks really nice, doesn't it? And now you just need to follow the exact process of the first ring and you should end up with this. And because I had a little bit of time left, I decided to make this green cabochon ring. I just left out all the beads so you can see bare wire securing all the spirals, and I think it looks nice. Simple but nice. There are definitely many options how you can finish this design, and I've got loads of ideas and I already started filming some, but I can't include it in this video because it would be so long and you would be probably so bored. So that's gonna come in part 2 of this video. So stay tuned, I think I'm gonna upload it next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial and I hope it gave you some ideas as what to do with cabochons if you've got any of them lying about. You can like the video if you liked it, you can subscribe to this channel if you want to see more, and you can hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when I upload new videos. So many options for you. Isn't that great? And I'm gonna go and eat some healthy dinner, like an ice lolly or chocolate ice lolly. I love you all and I will see you next week. Bye! You could also make a gold moustache. I look just like my father.